We've all been criticized at some point. Sometimes it comes as gentle feedback, sometimes as harsh, unfair words, even from people we barely know or don't even respect. And we all know that feeling that comes after. Tightness in the chest, a sense of hurt, anger, the urge to defend, to explain, to fight back, to prove ourselves. But if you were a Stoic, you would pause, take a breath, and ask yourself, is this true? If it is, I'll learn. If it isn't, why should I let it hurt me? Ones, the Stoic method for handling criticism. Welcome back to the Calm Within, where we explore how to live with depth, with stillness, and with strength that comes from within. In today's video, I want to share with you a short story, but one that carries a powerful message. How to stay calm when you're criticized the Stoic way. Ready? Let's begin. The story, the craftsman and the critic. There was once an old craftsman in a quiet village. He made wooden chairs by hand, carefully, solidly, beautifully. People in town loved his work. One day, a tourist from the city came by. He looked at one of the chairs, frowned, and said, "This looks rough. Outdated design, not really stylish." The crowd fell silent. Some felt embarrassed for the old man. They thought he'd be upset, maybe even angry. But the craftsman simply smiled, gently set the chair down, and replied, "Thank you for sharing your perspective, but I made this chair to be used, not displayed." Then he returned to his workshop, his hands steady, his spirit unmoved. That afternoon, a curious boy from the village asked him, "Weren't you upset that man said your chair was ugly?" The old man smiled again. "You see, if every comment could make me angry, then my mind would be like a house without doors. Anyone could walk in and out as they pleased." He simply expressed his opinion. That didn't make the chair weaker, and it certainly didn't make me any less. The lesson from the craftsman: you can't stop people from judging, but you can choose whether or not to give their words the power to disturb your peace. A Stoic doesn't live to please others. They live to protect their calm. Even in the face of criticism, no one can hurt you unless you let them. Epictetus. And now, let's look at 5 Stoic insights to help you remain steady and unshaken when facing criticism. 1. Separate emotion from the event. A Stoic never lets emotions take the lead. They stop, observe, and detach the feeling of being hurt from the fact of what was said. Ask yourself, what exactly is being said? Is there any truth in it? Is there something I can actually learn here? Not every loud voice is right. Not every criticism deserves your pain. Epictetus once wrote, "It's not what happens to you that upsets you, but your judgment about it." Look at the words like a slip of paper. You can choose how to read it, instead of swallowing it whole, along with all the emotion it brings. 2. Don't react. Observe. When someone attacks you with words, our first instinct is almost always to react immediately. We get angry, we argue back, we defend ourselves, or we silently withdraw in hurt. But that's just an emotional reflex, not a conscious choice. The Stoic doesn't react right away. They observe first, then decide whether the situation even deserves a response. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher king, once wrote, "Your mind is a sacred space. Let no one enter it without your permission." That image is powerful. It reminds us that your mind is your own territory. You are the gatekeeper. You choose what comes in and what stays out. So when you hear criticism, don't rush to swallow it whole. Picture the words like a cloud floating in front of you. You don't have to touch it. You don't have to push it away. Just observe. Ask yourself, where is this coming from? Is there any truth in it? What am I feeling right now and why? Is a reaction even necessary at this moment? Because you are someone who lives with intention, not a puppet pulled by every word or glance from others. Reaction is instinct, but calm is power. 3. Criticism reveals more about the speaker, not about your worth. When someone says something negative about you, pause. Don't instantly believe it says anything about who you are. Because here's the truth. Most criticism isn't really about you. It's about the person saying it. A person who is tired snaps. A person who is insecure feels threatened by your calm. A person who is envious may try to diminish your light. They're not saying those things because you did something wrong. They say them because they're battling something inside themselves. A Stoic doesn't let their mind get pulled into someone else's storm. They don't live as a mirror reflecting other people's emotions. They listen, but they don't absorb without reflection. They ask one powerful, simple question. Is this true? Do I actually believe this? Is this about me or about them? If you don't believe what they're saying, if it doesn't match the life you're living or the values you hold, then why let it define you? Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality, because of how we allow our minds to interpret and believe." So next time someone throws harsh words your way, remember this. You don't need to argue. You don't need to believe them. You simply need to remind yourself, this doesn't belong to me. A Stoic lives by their inner values, not by the praise or judgment of the outside world. And that is a profound kind of freedom. Freedom from expectations. Freedom from judgment. Freedom to live as yourself without needing approval. 4. Treat criticism like a gift, or gently set it down. The Stoic philosopher Seneca once said, "Words are like wine. If it's good, sip it slowly. If it's toxic, don't let it enter you." It sounds simple, but if you've ever been hurt by criticism, you know, it's not always easy to tell the difference between fine wine and poison. The Stoics teach us to handle criticism with calm, not by rushing to defend, not by quickly accepting everything, but by stepping back and observing. They ask one powerful question. Does this have value? Is there something true here? What part of this is useful and what part is not? If the words are true, even if they're sharp or poorly delivered, welcome them. It's an opportunity to grow. Even an awkward, poorly worded comment can contain a truth we've been avoiding. And if you're strong enough to listen, you'll walk away stronger after every wake-up call. And if the words are false, set them down, gently. No anger needed. Imagine you're walking a long path, and someone tosses a heavy stone into your hand. You don't need to throw it back. You don't need to carry it in anger. You can simply let it go, because you know that stone doesn't belong to you, and carrying it only makes your journey heavier. 1. Whether criticism is or wrong, you can still gain something from it. If it's right, you grow. If it's wrong, you gain patience and clarity. You don't lose. You don't weaken. You mature. So next time someone criticizes you, remember, you have a choice. Listen if it helps you become better, or smile and set it down if it doesn't reflect your truth. Because you don't live to please everyone. You live to be honest with yourself. 5. Remember, you don't owe anyone an explanation. A Stoic doesn't live to impress the crowd. They live to stay true to their inner virtue. You don't have to explain every action, respond to every attack, chase every compliment, or dodge every insult. Your true worth is found in how you act, not in how others see you. And sometimes, a calm silence is the most powerful answer of all. Aged. In summary, When criticized, remember these 5 Stoic principles. Detach emotion from the words, "You are not your feelings." Observe before reacting. You don't have to respond right away. Know who's speaking and why. Not every judgment is true. Keep what helps you grow, release what doesn't. You don't need to prove yourself, just live with integrity. A note from the calm within. You can't control what others say, but you can always control how you receive it. And sometimes, all it takes is one mindful pause before you react, to protect the peace that lives inside you.